So I am teaching my students about the Industrial Revolution. Ever heard of it? I would argue the single most important event in human history. And if you care, you might be like, oh no! But I'm sure most people will probably like, okay, because history doesn't mean a whole bunch to a whole lot of people. Doesn't matter. The unit essential question, because this is a unit, it could be an entire class, but the unit essential question is, how did the Industrial Revolution drastically alter the lives, the pattern of life for humans domestically and around the globe? And before we dove into that, I asked my students that question, and then the next slide just said why. And I was like, why learn that? Why answer that question? Because the point isn't, and I didn't even give them time to answer because they're just like, I don't know. So we don't repeat our mistakes, which is what students tend to say of why we learn history. But why are we learning about the Industrial Revolution? Why answer that question? And I said, the point is, we should get to the point where we're trying to develop the skill to replace Industrial Revolution and add anything in there. How did or how will or how should blank impact or alter the pattern of life? So like I did automation. So I showed them videos of like ChatGPT and drones and autonomous robots. And we're thinking like, how is this going to change the pattern of life? And once we study the Industrial Revolution and we look at how like that impacted the pattern of life, the goal is not just to like know why the Industrial Revolution did what it did and then just like memorize it and be able to say it. The goal is for us to develop the ability to analyze the reality of life. So, the more you place blank into whatever event or idea or person and think about how will it change things or how does it change things, the more efficient you become in thinking about that. I was thinking about it, and it's like when a detective goes into a crime scene, the detective has done this so many times that they're very efficient. They know what to look for and they know what, I guess, not to look for. But like the process of thinking is reduced. It's neuroplasticity. It's your ability to process the scene. Like if you were to throw me into that crime scene, I would be like, I don't even really know where to start. And it would take me a while. But the more that you do it, the more efficient you become at it. And the more you think and study history, the more efficient you become at analyzing the reality of life. That is the goal. And I'll say that to my students, and they're just like, I had one kid be like, whoa. Everyone else is just like, and it doesn't matter. Like in 2 years, when you ask them a random thing about the Industrial Revolution, they're not going to remember it. But the goal, in really a lot of thinking, is to look around us and ask why. And why should we do that? Because we want to get better at analyzing our reality. And when you get better at analyzing our reality, you understand reality more. And when you understand reality more or better, you can then use that information moving forward. You can it's like a bird flying with the breeze or a fish in the ocean. If you want to get to destination B, you're better off understanding how the wind works or how the ocean current works and being able to sit back and analyze it and be like, okay, therefore I should blank. Right? That's thinking. That's the purpose, should be the purpose of public education. Among other. But the goal is not just to learn a bunch of random information. The goal is to get better at analyzing life and thinking about life. You could spend your entire life walking down a path and then you see a red bird and you're like, no, that's a cardinal. Or you could go walk down the path and look at that bird and say like, oh, that's a cardinal. Why is that cardinal red? Why did it just do that? And then once you start to learn that, you become more efficient at understanding how the universe works. Something to think about.